3, 2, 1.
So today's topic is about our first lady of the show, Angel Savage.
Yeah.
So I want to know, who is Angel Savage today?
Angel Savage today is a barber, a mom to many, a big sis to many, a daughter. Pretty much, I'm a filler. And what that means is, when there's a need, I try to meet it. I'm a Christian. There's a lot of things about me. I'm not really sure on the specifics on what you're really looking for, but for the most part, I'm big sis.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah. What got you into the barber game, if you don't mind me asking?
What got me into barbering was my mom.
Okay.
My mom used to have foster kids, and when she was getting the foster boys, she used to take them to Geneva's to get the haircut. And Geneva was one of the first black women barbers here in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, wow.
And she used to cut almost everybody here in Portland for a long time. And so that's who my mom took the foster kids to. But after a while, it started getting a little spendy. So my mom figured, you know what, Angel, you could draw. So I know if you could draw, you can cut. And so she went and bought some clippers and said, have at it, with my foster brother. So that's how I got started.
And now we know that you're an artist, so like, what type of art are you into?
I don't call myself an artist. I just like doodling.
Okay.
So like stick figures.
Yeah. Yeah. It is stick figures. Seriously.
That's art.
But I know how to draw other stuff too.
Yeah.
But I like little simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I make it come to life. So yeah.
What other activities are you into?
Church, Purpose on Purpose. God is my first love. That's when I'm not here, I'm near. Meaning when I'm not doing Purpose on Purpose, a lot of my time goes into my church. And if I'm not at my church, then I'm here at this barbershop where this show started.
What do you do inside the church? What's your title at the church place?
Well, right now, I have two different titles. I don't even like talking titles because I'm not into titles. But if I had to say what do I do in church, I'm the top security in my church, and I'm also the prayer intercessor in my church. But as of next week, I'll be a minister in my church. I'll be ordained to be a minister.
Oh, word, that's what's up.
Congratulations.
Yeah, for real, that's what's up.
Thank you.
What led you down that path?
Well, it's not just one thing that led me there, but just to sum it all up, life, and just going through a lot of different avenues that didn't work, and I found something that worked.
Correct.
And I thought that I had a relationship with God when I didn't. And when I learned that I didn't really know God, let alone have a relationship with Him, I wanted to know who He was for real. So when I said it was true, you know what I mean? I hear a lot of people say God is real. He's my God. He's in my life. I have Him with me all the time. And I was one of those people. But I didn't know who He was. But now I do. And so I think that was just the biggest thing, is saying something that wasn't true and wanting to be able to say it and know that it's true.
Correct. Were you brought up in the church?
No, not at all. I wasn't. And I'm glad about that. Because if I was, I'd be turned off with church. Because church is full of people that will hurt you because they've been hurt. Hurt people hurt people.
Correct.
And so because of that, there's a lot of messed up people in the church. And I think where we mess up at is we go to church expecting perfect people. But church is for the imperfect people.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so people go to church with the wrong thing on their head. They go in the church thinking how people should be, when you go to church, you're supposed to go to church for you.
Yeah, build that relationship.
Between you and God,
Of
though.
course.
Not you and people.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So, with you not growing up with church, what was your childhood like?
I grew up in an abusive home, and so really, a lot of my memories are based on hurtful things. I seen my mom get whooped on a lot. I mean, a lot. And so that's something that is still something that's in the back of my head. You know what I mean? Aside from that, I'll try to dig up some good stuff. I was a hooper. I was known for hoop. I was really known for hoop. And really hoop was just my life back then. So outside of the abusive home, it was basketball.
That was your outlet.
Yeah, that was my outlet, music.
Oh, so you're a musician.
I write.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a rapper.
That's what's up. I respect it. And what is your, okay, so like your genre of rap, are you a Christian rapper or are you like, okay.
Not at all. I'm gonna just tell you guys this. I don't like being put in a category. I hate that. You know what I mean? Like, this world is so stuck on categorizing people and putting people in their rightful place. Don't put me in none of that. I'm outside the box. I'm a child of the king. You know what I mean? He can't be put in a box. And that's my daddy. So don't put me in no box. And so as far as a genre, I don't have a genre. I speak from my heart. So whatever happened that led me to that song, that's what you're gonna hear.
Facts.
A lot of my song is just pain. And that's it. You know?
So speaking about your basketball, I heard a rumor. I'm from Portland. So your basketball career is known to anybody who grew up in the city.
Yeah.
I heard a basketball rumor. I don't want to know if it's true. I heard you made a bet with Damon Stoudemire on a one-on-one game, and you beat him. No? Okay.
I did play basketball with Damon at Peninsula Park. As far as making a bet and beating him, nah. I beat a lot of them, though. I ain't gonna say whether I beat him or not, because I don't know how his manhood was. But I tell you, I was good enough to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know about the turning point. It's a turning point that happens in everybody's life to where they turn to something that gets them to want to be outside of a box. So don't want to be inside that box no more, don't want to be categorized and put with a label. And they believe in something greater than themselves. And once they believe in something greater than themselves, they get to this point in their life where you at right now with your life. That's why I wanted to start at the beginning of your life. But what was that turning point that said, hey, I'm not about to be put in no box. This is my higher power, this is who I'm rocking with, this is who I believe in. What was that turning point for you?
It wasn't just one thing, but one major thing that stood out for me to have to come to that place was that basketball was taken from me. And basketball did put me in a box. Because when you heard my name, that's what you heard it with.
Yeah.
Anytime you heard Angel Bagley, not Angel Savage. When you heard Angel Bagley, that's why I changed my last name as well. Because when you heard Angel Bagley, that's basketball. You mention Angel Bagley to anybody in this town from that era, and even some new people know that's what it was. Angel Bagley, the hoop. And once God showed me that I was more than a basketball player, it was time to say, well, who am I then? If I wasn't set up to be a basketball player, you made me that good, and I can't play no more, then what is this life about? What do you want me to do with myself? You know what I mean? What am I good at? And so I had to come to what some people call rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My rock bottom was losing basketball. You know what I mean? I was one of those that literally slept with my basketball. Like, my basketball was my first girlfriend. Seriously. Like, my basketball was like how a dog is your best friend, and the dog can know everything about you, or your animal, I know stuff and see things that nobody else will see. My basketball was that, because I literally slept with my ball. And so my first girl crush, my ball knew about it because I told my ball. My ball was my best friend. Spalding was my best friend. And so my turning point was losing that. Messing up, having an injury that caused me to never to be able to play again, or I would be paralyzed, or worse. So when I lost that, it was time to find out who I was.
Yeah. I'm at the Southern Kitchen. I had to be probably like on a Wednesday, I believe so. And I cut in line like, hey, is that order ready for my sis? They said, how you just gonna cut in front of me? Who's your sis? And I said, Angel. They said, you related to Angel? And I said, I'm not like blood, but yeah, I'm her brother. And they was like, oh. He said, man, he said, young since I was like this. Angel would rise up on him and boom, dum. They said, Angel used to walk in the gym. They were like, who got Angel? And they were like, hey, not me. I don't. But the prolific of just the name Angel is so prolific out here in Portland, and it's uplifting in a major way. To see the smile and the look in their eyes on the mentioning of your name and knowing you, it's powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I first met you, I'm just coming here, I asked you just to get a haircut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just pop up, and that's how we meet. Gravitate to something. On this time I'm on a positive tip. So whatever else positive out there, I feel we gravitate towards it. You know, let me get off that. Let me get back to you for a minute real quick. But I just want to say how you touch others without even probably knowing it sometimes, how you affecting others' life. Because it lets you know that you in good hands when you can mention somebody's name and a person don't screw their face up, or they got so much bad to say. Yeah. When a person just throw their hands up and like, oh, I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And especially in our community, because our community is we so much look for the negativity.
That's right.
For somebody to say something like, I say, oh, okay, I'm supporting my black people. I'm going to Southern Kitchen.
Yeah.
Best fried fish out here that I done had.
In the town.
You know what I'm saying?
Hands down.
I tell that to another black person, they're like, oh man, you should go check out over there. Man, I've been in Portland my whole life. You gotta go try them out. I'm
Crabs
like,
in the butt.
but have you tried this spot out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then when they go over there with me, they're like, man, how you know about this spot? You ain't even from here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel if basketball would have worked out for you, where would you be at now? Or is that even something that you even indulge with, of the thinking back, looking at and wishing and wondering and wishing? Because I was always told when I was young, you don't want to have that life story that's barbershop talk. And I'm like, what you mean that's barbershop talk? With the what ifs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that ever take place in your train of thought, the way you process things, or?
Honestly, I have to be honest.
Yeah, most definitely.
It hasn't.
That's dope.
When it got taken,
That's real.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is about me, but if the door closed, it's closed. And I just have to learn to go forward and not look back.
So your
It didn't
transition
work.
into that from basketball into the unknown, basically in your mind, is what you were journeying into, was the unknown. What was that transition like for you, though?
Like I was saying, when that door closed, it wasn't nothing I could look back on because it was closed. And so once that was closed, I had to figure out who Angel really was. And so at that point, like anybody, I'm like, okay, I'm at an age where that didn't work. I'm a leader. I always knew that about myself. I always stood out. And so because of that, what's next? And how am I gonna make some money? Because I'm out of my mom's house, and in my mind, it's like once you leave your mama's house, you don't go back there either, only to visit. And so now it's time to get a job. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go back to school because that was just nothing but a memory. And it was like, what am I here for if I'm not here for what I got a scholarship for? And so I'm going back home getting a job. And that's what I did. I got a job. And then the process of me getting a job, I started meeting different people. And God has a funny way about doing things, because he'll put people in your life and you don't know what they for. And sometimes he'll bring somebody in your life and you're young, you're not ready for that, to understand what that person is there for, but he'll run that beat back. And he'll bring that person back when you're mature enough and ready. I'll come back to that.
3, 2, 1.
So like I was saying, God has a funny way of running that beat back and bringing people in your life, and when you're not mature or ready, and if they were meant to be and destined to be there for a certain purpose, he'll bring them back. And so that's what he did in my life, was he brought certain people in my life. And when I started being mature enough to understand different things along the way, I started asking, why did you bring this person? What are they here for? Like, tell me, show me who they are, so I can connect with them where I'm supposed to connect.
Right.
I know I ain't gonna catch them all at the moment, but he will bring them back. He brought you back. So I may not catch them at first, but if I stay patient and I ask that question, what are they in my life for? I know he'll show me. It might be just something for me to work on my patience. It might be something bigger later on. That might be a bosses somewhere later on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's a reason why God connects us with people. And so I say all that to say, I met Kenny in this shop as a client. We wasn't thinking about purpose on purpose. You know what I mean? But he was.
Right.
He was. You know what I mean? Just like you guys. You guys met how you met, but it was for a bigger purpose. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, I thank God for the process. I do. Because he hooked me up with good peoples. He gave me more brothers. And when I call you my brother, I mean that. I mean that. Straight up. And so I'm thankful for y'all. I just gotta say that. I know you guys are asking me questions, but I have to tell you I'm grateful for you guys.
Was it you meeting somebody along the way on your journey and through life that influenced you to open up a shop?
That's funny because somebody recently asked me about that. And matter of fact, today I was getting my hair cut by another young barber, and he asked me that same question. I had to tell him the same thing I'm gonna tell you. What made me, I had a barbershop, and I had a barbershop for 8 years. But what made me want to cut hair on this level of meeting people and knowing that I can actually get something out of this, what made me want to do this was when I worked at the hospital. And when I worked at the hospital, I met a bunch of rich people, doctors and nurses. And I felt like I wanted validation a little bit from them because of the level that they were on as far as financially, and the fact that they are doctors, you know what I mean? Like, that's big. They're saving lives. And so me meeting these doctors, and I felt like they were treating me like, you just a help. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do nothing else but be the help. And so when I started feeling that way, even though they wasn't doing that, that was my spirit. That was the only way I would move and do something for me. So I started feeling like, I ain't the help. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, I'm still cutting people out of my house and I'm going to work. So I went to work one day and I was like, you know what, y'all? I'm going to barber school. I'm going to have my own shop. And they're like, okay. But I feel like they're okay. It was like, yeah, all right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the way my negative mind would work sometimes, they, yeah, all right, even though they wasn't like that, made me do just what I said I was going to do. So I went to school while I was working full time still. And once I graduated from school, I did what I said I was going to do. And I went out on a limb because I left the hospital and started cutting, not knowing how the money was going to be. I didn't have no clients but the ones that was coming to the house, you know what I mean? And the ones that was coming to school. Most of the time, the people at the barber school don't follow you. They come there because it's cheaper.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? And so I'm stepping out on a limb just on faith. And God just, boom. And I'm a woman barber. And a lot of men are real sketchy and skeptical about a woman cutting their hair. Can't no woman cut. You know what I mean? And I did get a lot of that at first. And I had finally got to a place where I'm like, I'm nice. I'm looking at my cuts. I'm nice. I'm nicer. I'm looking at the other barbers' cuts. I'm like, man, I'm running with the big dogs.
Yeah.
And so people would come in, and I still get a little bit of that now. People that don't know me, and they'll come in and there'll be a walk-in, and they'll walk right past me and go to the man barber and ask, you got an opening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they'll say no, and then they'll come to me. And I say, no, I ain't got no opening. Even if I do, I'm like, nah, I don't have it.
You just bypassed me up in the
Yeah,
first place.
but I hope that they stick around. I hope that the barber that they go to get them,
Yeah.
because the person in my chair is getting the best cut of their life.
Yeah.
Because I need that person to know, you messed up, right?
Right.
You done messed up.
know you
right?
done messed up, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I remember those faces, and I try not to be like that, but I'm like that. I remember those faces. So when they come back in here trying to slide in my chair, nah, partner, keep going to that barber. Because you wanted to go to that man. You didn't even want to give me a chance because I'm a woman. Nah, I ain't gotta put up with that. And so I don't. You know what I mean?
Not supposed to.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I got started off of my mind tricking me into thinking somebody didn't believe in me. And so I had to prove my mind that you was a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what got me to the level of being a barber.
So, knowing the angel of the past and the present, where do you see the angel of the future?
Honestly, I see Angel in the future with purpose on purpose and in ministry full time. That's it. That's it. I'm not banking on that now. I believe that this is a God ordained ministry right here, and ministry. That's it. I don't have no other desires. I want to serve Him, and I know this is a platform to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
On that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Now, you did say that you left the young basketball alone, right?
Yeah.
But would you ever think about?
No,
Okay.
I'm not doing nothing concerning basketball.
Okay.
No coaching, none of that. I'm good.
And you wouldn't mix the two, like the ministry and the ball.
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
Respect that.
No.
Respect that. Yes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So, as an up and coming minister, something that's out there, what do you think about Minister West?
Who was that?
Kanye West.
What do you mean? What do I think about him? I
I
think
mean,
God
what do
can
you
use
think
anybody.
that? Okay.
I believe God can use anybody. As far as his album, I don't think he's there yet. Just
Have you
listen
seen
to
any
it.
of his ministry services?
I have, and I believe that God can use anybody. So I'm not gonna knock what he's doing. I want to be careful with doing that because he can reach people that we can't reach.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
whether he's real or not, God is real. And his job is only to bring them to a place to want to know God. And that is it. He's not the Savior.
Right.
You know what I mean? None of us are.
Yeah.
So I applaud him. Yeah, I applaud him.
When we first started the show, our very first show, you got feedback on one of the shows. And since you had got that feedback, a couple of days after that, you spoke to that person. Not too long ago, you had a real good conversation with that person. And the understanding from the last conversation you had with that person had you at a place of ease, understanding. I want to use the term, at first the pants leg was wrinkled. When you had, after that conversation, I'd say the pants leg became creased.
Yeah,
Do you want to touch bases on that?
we can.
Go ahead.
So we talked about molestation, and I told my truth, and a certain individual in my family was very unhappy about us talking about that. And it's funny because they shared it with someone else, and that person brought them to some sort of understanding and told them it ain't about you at all. It's about Angel. And so I was grateful, and I'll forever be grateful for that, because I don't think that if that conversation wouldn't have happened, that person wouldn't have got to that place. It wasn't something that I said, it was something that person said to that person. And I'm grateful for it now, because it bothered me that they would feel how they felt. I know they're a family member and a very close one, but it bothered me because I'm like, it didn't happen to you, it happened to me. But I got it, I get it. I understood where they were coming from after I had the conversation with the person that talked to that person. And it was more of just embarrassment, you know what I mean? And so, and some deeper things that you talked about in the molestation episode that we discussed, you know what I mean? They had some deeper rooted things, and so it brought them to a place of they got to get free too. You know what I mean? And if that show didn't happen, they wouldn't be at a place of getting free either. And not because of me, but because of their own story. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that God made me the way that I am. I'm like my mom. Like, I'm so much like my mom. I'm straightforward. I'm a straight shooter. You know what I mean? And my dad is the same way. So I'm like a double-edged sword. And so I'm not ever going to hold back. For this platform right here, this show, God didn't give us this to hold back. And so I'm not going to hold back on that. If that's my truth, that's my truth. And can't nobody take that from me. You know what I mean? And because of this, since that show, I've had men say something to me about them being molested. And I was the first one that they ever told. You know what I mean? You know how that makes my heart beat? You know what I mean? To know that something that we did as a collective family brought freedom to a man, to a king. You know what I mean? Like that man, that speaks in volumes. So I'll add more to it before I take something away.
Facts.
How do you feel when things don't go as planned in your life in general?
It depends on what it is. Some things, when it doesn't go as planned, it could be frustrating. I'm pretty sure that goes for anybody. You know what I mean? A sense of frustration could come on, because if it's already in my mind and it's played out in my mind that it's going to be a certain way, and it don't go that way, it would bother me. But I'm a true, firm believer in, but keep going. Keep going. It didn't work out the way you thought it would. So what? The time is still ticking.
My mother always said every disappointment is a blessing in disguise.
Hey, my L's is all lessons. No losses.
No.
Yeah.
None.
So I want to know, have you in life had more struggles with being black, with being gay, or with being a woman?
You know what's funny is, I honestly, the bashing of being gay, I never experienced that. Being a black woman, The only hiccup with that, like I said, is the barbering and how men shun me and think that I can't cut until they get in my chair. I have noticed that other nationalities, Muslims, they frown on being gay, and they see me boldly standing on my mat doing me, and I can feel their energy. I don't give a shit. Keep it pushing, partner. You know what I mean? Because when I woke up, you wasn't in the bed with me, and when I closed my eyes, you ain't gonna be here. And last time I checked the bill, it was only my name on that piece. You feel me? So the only little shun that I get, like I said, is about being gay in the barbershop with different nationalities and certain religions. I do have to say, in church, not the world accept me for who I am, but the church, that's a different beast. And it's been an uphill swim in church to be who I am, but God is using me just as I am to break religion.
Right.
Because religion is killing our people.
Separate them as well too.
Religion is killing our people. Like, it's horrible.
I definitely agree with that.
I
would agree right
it's
there.
horrible.
Because I believe in having a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, religion is killing our people, and God is using me to come against that.
In my belief, I believe that religion is part of the unholy trinity of this world.
Yeah.
It's one of the three things that are the death of everything going on around us.
Yeah.
Correct.
Religion is a man-made thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with God.
God never once speaks about religion in
Never.
the Bible.
Right. I feel like religions are vehicles to try to get to Him, but there's so many people on the street and in the way that you're hitting all these people, and you don't even know which direction you're going because you ain't going towards Him anymore. You're worried about all the gadgets inside your vehicle. In the manual, what it said in the manual, how to work this thing, you know what I mean? Where you don't even care, you ain't even looking up to see who you about to hit in your religious vehicle.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's horrible. And people are dying because of that. And when I say dying, I mean spiritually. And so when you're spiritually dead, you're no good humanly. You know what I mean? You're no good as a human if you're spiritually dead. It's like The Walking Dead. When I look outside and I see certain people, man, it saddens me. But the coldest part is when I see them in church. They're dead as a doorknob in there. And they look at me up and down like I'm in the wrong place. You
They
know what I
fight
mean?
their own spiritual warfare within themselves.
Yes, but that's their battle. I don't have nothing to do with that. And I'm going to get out their way and let them do what they got to do.
Correct.
It's not going to stop me from serving my daddy. That's where I'm just at a place now where I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. The only thing that matters to me is my salvation with God. He's the only one that can put me in heaven or put me in hell. Not a man on this earth can do that.
Do you feel in some cases there's a lack of love and compassion in the church?
Oh, most definitely, man. Like I said earlier, hurt people hurt people. And that's where a lot of hurt people are, is in the church. And they're there to get help, but a lot of them don't know how to because they're so messed up from whatever that happened to them. And then they see familiar things in the church that hurt them. And so they be stuck on that instead of realizing what made you want to go there. What woke you up this morning and said, I'm going to church? Matter of fact, forget that, because some people will get into a routine of going to church. What was the first time you said, I'm going to church as an adult without somebody's supervision or pulling you to church? What made you want to go? What was it that happened in your life that made you say, I gotta go to church?
What was it?
I ain't talking about Easter.
What was it for you?
I ain't talking about Christmas. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about what happened in your life, and I'll tell you, that made you say, this ain't working. What happened to me, my crossroads was I was smoking weed one day. I was smoking weed with my boy B. And we were roommates. I don't even think he knows till this day, honestly. But we were smoking weed. We had a piece, that one piece of one in the morning from that night before. That piece of
Get you
one.
higher.
Yeah, that one, the one that marinated overnight.
Yeah.
So we smoking this weed, and I just remember saying, "Bro, I'll be right back." And I went upstairs. You guys getting the exclusive right now,
Yeah.
because I ain't really told nobody.
Yeah.
But I remember going upstairs, and in this particular time of my life, I was a hoe. I'm talking about, and when I say literally, I had one female coming in the front door, and I'm sliding the one out the back door in real life, in real time.
Yeah.
Like for real. I was a bona fide hoe. And I'm not saying it on no proud shit. Because now that I look back on it, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because I hurt a lot of women. Because I was hurt. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I ain't saying this on no boastful. Nothing. You know what I mean? But at this time of my life, I'm sliding them out. I'm talking about sliding them out. And I got to a place, this is how I knew it was coming to an end. Because I didn't used to be like this. I started making females, you coming over, oh, you better not come empty-handed.
Oh, you was pimping.
It wasn't even pimping. It was simping. You better not come empty-handed. You better have some clothes, some money, some cologne. I don't give a damn what you come with, but you better not come without nothing in your hand, or you ain't getting in. No, it wasn't pimping, because I could have pimped, and I was scared to. I had a bona fide hoe that wanted to hoe for me.
That's all we call that.
That ain't in me. That's what people call it, but I was hurting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was hurting, but I got cocky with my little hurt self.
Yeah.
And I was making people come with shit in their hand to make me feel like I was doing something. Mm-hmm. And so I knew I was at a dead end at that point, because that wasn't my character. I ain't never been like that. And to see myself like that was disgusting. So I remember one day I go upstairs after us smoking the blunt, and it's early in the morning, and I'm sitting on my bed, and I just broke out and I start crying. And then next thing you know, I'm in the middle of my bed, like not middle, but my bed is right here and the wall's right here. I'm in between my bed and the wall on my knees, crying and mad. I'm talking about slobbering, snot, cussing God out. Why you make me like this? I didn't want to be gay. Why'd you make me gay? You got people thinking I chose this shit like I'm going off. You know what I mean? Like, why did I have to go through that with my mom? Why me and my brother ain't close? Where the fuck was my dad? You know what I mean? Like, all this stuff was going on in my head, and I'm talking out loud, and I'm thinking I'm yelling, but ain't nobody coming. So I couldn't have been yelling. Or maybe he just was like, get it out. I don't know what my roommate, he probably was just too high to know. And so all this shit happened, and then I get it out, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't even want to be here no more. Like, fuck it, if I just off myself, I don't have to have these thoughts, I ain't gotta have these questions that'll never get answered. Like, I could just bounce, and all the people that hurt me, now I can hurt them. You know what I mean?
Bounce as in, you talking about suicide?
Like suicide.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm like, all the people that hurt me, now this is the best way to hurt their ass. If I kill myself, they gotta live with this shit. Cause I'm gonna make sure I leave a note to say you the reason. Like, I had some crazy thoughts in my head. And so this day I'm walking around, crazy how people be around you and not know what you're thinking. You smiling and shit, and they think it's a real smile. You know what I mean? Because I just did that. Then I go back downstairs, and my boy high as a fucking kite. He don't know. I just had that moment. My eyes is bloodshot red. He thinking my eyes is red because I'm high off the weed. But my eyes is red because I was up there having a throwdown, hissy fit.
Yeah.
And so that same day, this is how I know God is real. This is why I love God so much. And this is why I'll never doubt him. Because that same day, my sister-in-law calls me, BC. And she says, I was just thinking about you, sis. What you doing? I'm coming over. I'm gonna take you shopping to get you guys some food in your house. I'm like, do we need food? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, shit, okay. So she does what she says she's gonna do. And she says, sis, why don't you come to church on Sunday? And I'm like, okay. Because at that moment, I was like, that wasn't her asking me. That was him.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like it was like a weird ass feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So that Sunday, this is a true story. I put my life on it. That Sunday, I go to church. I'm just visiting. When I pull up, the pastor's outside in the parking lot greeting people. And he ain't from here. He was from Jackson, Mississippi. So he outside the parking lot greeting people. And when I get out, it was weird because I felt like I knew him already. It was weird. And so when I got out and I'm walking up to, and at the time it wasn't a church, it was a trailer. His church was a trailer. And so I was like, I got out and I seen him and I was like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like I knew him. And I hugged him. And he was like, welcome. I was like, right on. He said, go in. I was like, okay. So I go in the little trailer and I'm like, nigga, this is a real trailer. You know what I mean? So my mind is on the fact that I'm walking in a trailer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I thought I was going to church.
That's a church.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I went in there, right when I walked in the door, bro, it was, the spirit in there was so high and heavy. And the co-pilot, I didn't even know nothing about that feeling yet. I just knew I walked in the door and it was a weird feeling that was consuming and it made me sad. It made me like sad. So when I went in, I went and sat down and I'm really like standoffish because I don't like church people. Because church people hurt people. And I already knew this because anytime I visit people's churches, the first thing they do is be like, and then the sermon be on gay people. Every time. And so I expected this to happen here. So I went in, I sat down, and he started, the pastor started singing, and then all of a sudden he says, the person that was going to commit suicide is here today.
Word.
And then he says, you ask God, and if I'm lying, God will hit me right now and knock me off this chair and kill me. I got a Bible and I put my hand on the Bible. Everything that I asked God that day,
He knew.
He answered it. He said, you ask God A, this is why. You ask God B. God said, this is why. He went down a list of everything I asked God on down to, why did you make me like this? I didn't ask for this. And the answer to that, because I'll never forget the answer he said, I did make you like that. And I made you like that so you'll get to this. Because you wouldn't have never came to me if I didn't put that in. Period. Period.
That's why God is good.
All the time. Can't nobody tell me he ain't. And I'm not a mistake. We make them, but I ain't one. Period.
Absolutely.
Facts.
There you have it. Angel Savage.
Savage, y'all.
The first leg of the show.
We love you, sis.
I love y'all back, man.